things might soon become very different for this particular South African farmer. JOHAN is on the list of white farmers whose land is targeted for expropriation.
So we're producing about 250,000 boxes of hours per year. But it runs right down to that store there at the bottom, and then it turns that way also.
He bought this 130-hectare avocado farm 7 years ago. But this isn't the farm the government is claiming. JOHAN has another 3,300-hectare private hunting reserve on the border with Zimbabwe.
You need a long period of time to breed up a proper breeding stock. As you can see, those Nyala bulls are beautiful. Look at this. It's a long-term investment.
After 20 years of investment, both his business plan and his dream are now in jeopardy. Several communities lay claim to the land, considering it to have been theirs before apartheid. Then a mining company was granted the right to prospect in the area, which is rich in coal. And so in 2013, the government began to negotiate.
We're willing to negotiate, but then the price must be right. We said we want 200 million rand. They said they're going to give us 20 million rand. And when we got the letter, within 7 days they want to inspect the farm and they want to us to hand over the keys. All of a sudden you don't have a farm, so what must you do? The only thing that you can do is you can go to court, which we did.
The law that protects private property has been on his side so far. JOHAN still has the keys to his house, but for how long? The threat hasn't gone away. The authorities want to amend the constitution to remove the need to negotiate. Farmers are united.
We're against expropriation without compensation. It also shows a disrespect for property rights. And we actually said that we send out a hand of friendship to anybody that would want to join this fight. That is why...
It looks like the authorities will have a fight on their hands. In South Africa, less than 20% of land has changed hands in the last 20 years. President Cyril Ramaphosa wants to speed up the process. In October, he personally oversaw the handing over of more than 4,000 hectares to a Zulu community.
And as we make history today, we are also commencing a rolling mass land distribution program in our country. We are going to be returning land in a massive way.
The sheer scale of the unused farmland is perceived as an injustice in itself. And even if only a small fraction actually belongs to white farmers, the prospect of redistribution appeals to all disadvantaged communities. Nor is the wine region of the Western Cape province free from the conflict. Vineyard owners are afraid that their workers will one day reclaim the land that the laborers have always lived on. The number of evictions is multiplying. Around 50 families here have received letters from the landowners asking them to leave their property.
I've been working on farms for 51 years, and yet to this day I cannot say to my children, this here is our house. We're going to end up burning down their houses if they don't start listening to us. We don't want to do that. But we have to own something. Up until now, nothing has changed. Still, I really believe each one of us has the right to own something.
Madeleine is a social worker who helps farm laborers threatened with eviction. There are over 200,000 people in this situation in the Western Cape. These workers, the first to fall victim to the growing panic among white farmers, are gripped by the debate over expropriation.
I don't think in the Western Cape the municipalities have enough land to provide all these people with housing. Where will they then stay? Because this is the area that they've been living for all of their lives. So because it's such a huge amount of people, I think this is a really good chance for the government to take this farm as a land expropriation farm.
Madeleine's NGO has got involved with the complex land debate by joining public hearings on expropriation in Parliament.
It's very important that women farm workers should be explicitly targeted and engaged and consulted in terms of how land is going to be redistributed.
South Africa's parliament has received over 700,000 motions concerning expropriation without compensation, half in favor and half against.
You must understand that this is not a referendum. The committee will then engage on deliberations in the report and design recommendations to Parliament, and Parliament will be the last to take a decision.
Public hearings have drawn to a close. The ball is now in the court of the MPs, who will decide whether to change the Constitution to allow expropriation without compensation, and whether this drastic policy is the right one for the Rainbow Nation.